Welcome to this edition of Business Foresight. Now, this is a very interesting twist. Today we talk matters security, and we are looking at dog breeding or training. In a little-known village in the outskirts of Naivasha is Githongori Farm, a few kilometers drive from the town of Naivasha, an area seen as calm and generally quiet. This is where Timothy Githongori hails from. No one knows him by that name though. He is called Wama Dogs, or simply put, he who owns and deals with dogs. In this area is a rare business name, Wama Dogs Training Academy. The center trains people who plan to keep dogs on how to handle the animals. It also equips those who have a passion for dogs, yet cannot go near them because of fear, with skills to deal with them. But wait a minute, this story will move you. This gentleman, now in his mid-40s, is a standard 8 dropout. Coming from an extended family he generally terms poor. He set out to change the perception and outdo the stigma he faced while growing up.
I'm in a family of 17 children, and my career is breeding and training the dogs. Nimezaliwa hapa Kyoto, nimeelewa huko. Na hii kazi nilianza tu nilipata Tanzania.
It didn't come easy though. He did mega jobs to eke a just living, and this saw his travel across East Africa, particularly Tanzania, where he worked for an Indian family as a dog handler just weeks after leaving a previous position where his journey into the dog breeding business started when he traveled to Tanzania as a marketing manager for a local alcoholics drink company. His passion for the trade grew, and his fondness left him no choice but to pursue a career in dog breeding.
So venye nirudi huko nikajua maneno ya umbwa, nikapata muhindi ambaye alikuwa rafiki yangu, akaanza kunifundisha, alikuwa mzee, nikajua maneno ya umbwa, nikaanza nikakuja nilikaa huko 1.5 years. So when I came back to Kenya, I started my own business of rearing and breeding the dogs.
Disappointed by the way most people mistreated dogs, Timothy Githongori was convinced that people needed some formal training to enable them relate with man's best friend. He says every time he sold a dog to a client, he was left a worried man, particularly when he was not sure of how the new owner would handle the canine. Further, he reveals to me, when he started breeding dogs for sale, he did not set out to make thousands of dollars in profit. All he wanted was to do something he enjoyed that could pay his bills. But as fate could have it, some few years down the line, he is all smiles as he counts the fortunes from his business, thanks to the growing pet culture.
Najivunia hii kazi yangu sana sababu wamenifanyia maneno mingi, sababu ninauza, ninafanya kitu. So wenye nimejua watu wameingia kwa market ya unga sana, nataka wakuje wengi. Lakini unajua ukipata pesa safari ya kwanza unafanya kitendo, hata wakikuja watu 100 unajua ulifanya kitendo na inaonekana.
But how do you start a dog breeding business? Do you just buy a male and female dog, let them mate, and then sell the puppies? This is Githongori Jr., Timothy's son, a Form 4 leaver awaiting to join tertiary study at the University of Nairobi in the coming year to study economics. Despite his tender age, he has since learned the ropes from his dad.
I'm a dog trainer here. I take care of the dogs and also do breeding.
The Naivasha-based dog breeder says that he had noticed the desire of many people to keep the canines, especially for security reasons. But he also noticed their ignorance when it came to caring for the animals. Githongori started hosting dog bazaars in various towns around the country in a bid to take his service closer to potential clients.
The dogs are given maternity care here after you have brought your dog and it's almost giving birth. We do it, let's say it can reach a session whereby it's unable to give birth by itself. We can do the cesarean session. Yeah, we have our own surgeon, and also we do it here. And also we can have it, we care for it, we give it proper food, we have the dogs grow, we do the injections and the vaccination, so that we can, by the time the puppies are almost 3 months, they are fit for you to come for them back.
The popularity of the bazaars pointed to high demand for dogs. He has held bazaars in Kitale, Eldoret, Nairobi, Kericho and Naivasha, adding that they were all well attended. He also noticed the fact that many people shied away from keeping dogs for fear of handling them. A full-time course which takes 1 month costs 50,000 shillings. Some of the fee, he says, goes towards vaccinating the dogs used in training against rabies to ensure the safety of trainees. But what amazed me most is how the dogs are taken care of. From earning 35,000 shillings per month as a sales manager 16 years ago, Githongori now makes hundreds of thousands of shillings each month from selling his canines, hiring them out, cleaning and grooming them for clients and training people on how to handle them. Today, he has made numerous investments, including buying land from the business, despite being shunned by former friends for engaging in what they termed as an odd job. On the other hand, the business has earned the Githongoris respect and recognition.
So hii kazi yangu najivunia nayo sababu hakuna kenye nataka nitakosa. Na kazi yangu ni mzuri sababu nauza mbwa mpaka even kuna mbwa nimeuza 2 million, one dog.
Among his top clients, he says, include President Uhuru Kenyatta's family, Othaya MP Mary Wamboi and senior police officers. Though he is optimistic that the training of people on how to handle dogs will boost his business, the Githongoris face challenges such as inadequate training kits. The best quality kits, he said, cost 300,000 shillings each and are rare to find in Kenya, forcing him to resort to second-hand clothes. He challenges young men to take up the many job opportunities available in the country if people can embrace what is considered dirty work.
Now, some of these dogs are very strong and very dangerous.
After all, no money is labeled dogs, breeding, plumbing, doctor or architect. All people have needs and must work to satisfy them. Zawadi Mudibo, the entrepreneur.
Well, thank you very much and welcome to this edition of the Expert Corner. And today we're speaking to a gentleman. We call him Timothy Wamadogi. Simply Swahili synonym for Timothy, the owner of the dogs. He resides in Naivasha and does dog breeding and training. And like you will soon find out, he has a massive market that expands beyond East and Central Africa. He is a standard 8 dropout. You will not believe it, but he's doing wonders. Right behind me, what you can see, the building that you can see, that is his home. That is also the area where he's secluded for dogs, and he tells me so much more has happened in this business. So don't you give up and listen in. Asante sana Bwana Tim. Sasa tutakuita Wamadogi, si ndio? Asante. Tungependa tuelezee kidogo kuhusiana na maisha yako. When were you born? How did you grow up? And particularly I'm interested in your school. Ulifika wapi?
Mimi sijasoma sana. Nilifika standard 8 in 1988. In 1988 nikafanya my standard 8, sikupita hapo. Nikaenda kulingana na mimi nilijaribu kazi kidogo hivi, nikaenda kwa kazi kama nikakuwa mechanic, nikatoka kwa mechanic nikafanya kazi ya wiring ya stima, nikatoka kwa hiyo. Sasa kulingana na kazi yangu ama uelefu wangu, mimi ni mtu ambaye anapenda kuongea na watu sana. So mwenye aliniajiri akaniambia, "Pana Timothy, you have a gift. Mimi naongea na watu, you can be a very good salesman. You can be a very good marketing manager." So akaniambia, "Pana kuja nikufundishe." Akanipeleka kwa shule, akanifundisha maneno ya business. Tukaenda Tanzania, nikaanza kazi huko, nikajua.
There's so many people who give up in life when they get to a particular stage of life. Maybe wamefika class 8, form 4, or maybe even university, wamekosa kazi. They give up completely and engage in drug abuse. What was so different for you?
Nilikuwa naogopa, sababu nilikuwa nashindwa nitaanza kazi namna gani, mtu wa standard 8. Sijasoma sana. Sasa akaanza kunipatia vitabu, soma hii. Nikatumia vitabu kutoka Germany za umbwa. Ananiambia, "Soma wewe, kichwa yako ni mzuri, wewe ni mtu very sharp." Nikasoma, nikaanza kwa sasa kufanya training. nikaanza kujua maneno ya training sasa.
Tell us about your motivation. Ni nini ambacho kupatia motisha katika hii kazi?
Ni kwa sababu sasa hii kazi inaelimisha watoto wangu. Niko na maisani, nimemaliza form 4 juzi. Naenda university. Ni mwerefu atapita, mimi najua atapita. So na yeye namwambiaga hatuwezi kukaa hapa wote. Ati yeye ameshindwa na kazi, tukuje tukue wafugaji na wafunza mbwa.
Earlier on, ulituelezea kwamba there's a dog you sold at 2 million shillings. How many dogs, I mean at one given point, ni wakati gani ambapo umekuwa na mbwa wengi sana na ukaweza kupata manufaa kivipi?
Nimekuwa na mbwa zaidi ya, nimekuwa na mbwa hadi 400. Ninauza kama sasa juzi nimeuza mbwa walikuwa 320, nimeuza mbwa kama 100 wakaanza mjengo hii. So najivunia hii kazi yangu sana sababu wamenifanyia maneno mingi sababu ninauza, ninafanya kitu. So wenye nimejua watu wameingia kwa market ya mbwa sana, nataka wakuje wengi. Lakini unajua ukipata pesa safari ya kwanza unafanya kitendo, hata wakikuja watu 100 unajua ulifanya kitendo na inaonekana.
Tungependa tuelezee kuhusiana na jasiriamali, kwa kizungu wanaitwa entrepreneurs, young people who want to venture into business. What is your advice to them, particularly dog rearing?
Hii kazi ni rahisi sana ukiweza kujinyima, kama useme nimekubali nitafanya hivi. Mbwa wangu wa kwanza ambao nilinunua Tanzania niliuziwa, walikuwa mbwa wawili na nilinunua wote wawili kwa 20,000. Na right now mbwa moja papi tunauza 40,000, na mimi wenye nilikuja hapa wakazaana nilikuwa nauza even 5,000 sababu ya market. Lakini kitu venye umesema ni kwamba vijana wakubali kazi. Na wamekubaliwa. Mimi nimeuza mbwa hadi kwa familia ya Kenyatta. Nimeuza mbwa kwa watu wakubwa wengi.
Tungependa tuelezee about the tracking component ya mbwa. Ni vipi ambavyo mbwa anaweza kutumika kufuata mali kama kumekuwa na wizi ama kuweza kulinda? How do you train them to be able to do that, and have you had those in the recent past been able to recover property that was stolen?
Unajua sasa to track tunaendaga mahali kuna kitu tunaendaga ile point, marking point, mahali hiyo kitendo imefanyika. Tunaenda kwa, unajua kwa vitabu za Wajerumani tunasemaga marking point. Mahali kitendo ilifanyika tunaenda na yule mbwa, tunajua hapa ndio kulikuwa na wenye walikuwa hapo, inasemekana kama ni wewe
kama mtu aliiba,
kama aliiba na ameenda. So kwa ile marking point tukienda pale tunajua mmekuja watu wangapi, watatu, inanusa huyu. So the marking point ni huyu mwingine yuko, tunaanza kazi sasa kwa hiyo mwenye yuko. Tunaanza kazi. Tutapata. Mtu akipata gari atupati, lakini mtu amefanya kitendo hapa, ameenda mguu, hata kama ameenda maimahio tutapata.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us, and I know wale vijana ama wale watazamaji wetu ambao wamekuangalia wataweza kusikia, kumakinika na waweze kufanya jambo kuhusiana na maisha yao. Asante sana.
Asante.
Now that was Timothy Wamadogi. Like I mentioned earlier, Wamadogi is simply Swahili to mean the dog owner. He's told us about his experience. A man who is in his mid-50s and has done a lot of things. He was, or he still is, a standard 8 dropout, but he didn't give up. So don't you give up. It's all about your passion. Follow your passion, you will go places. That has been our Expert Corner. My name is Zawadi Mudibo.
Henry Ford says, a business that makes nothing but money is poor business. Are you passionate about business? Because passion is what propels you to greater heights. And that is our call to action.
Time now to take a look at what is cutting regionally, and in our regional business wrap, we take a look at stories making headlines in East Africa. We begin with a look at Tanzania. The Tanzanian government is pushing for the introduction of a direct flight from Dar es Salaam to Beijing to capitalize on the ever-growing economic and social relations between the two nations. In Rwanda, Rwanda's flower sector players are upbeat following the country's cabinet approval of a partnership deal between them and Kenyan-based company Shalima Flowers to develop the country's cut flower industry. Last month, the cabinet published a resolution supporting the joint venture that will see Shalima invest an estimated 2.7 billion Rwandese franc into the venture with Bella Flowers. The feasibility studies have already been carried out for the project, where government will own 75% shares. And finally, in Uganda, the Ugandan Coffee Development Authority has acknowledged that the country's best coffee now comes from Lira district, and the region is beginning to exhibit potential to become the leading producer of coffee in Uganda. Now, the regulator also noted that the volumes in the traditional coffee growing areas of Kasese, Mount Elgon and Sebei have stagnated for a long time because of the limited area to cultivate the crop.
Next week, I am Winnie Otieno, and this is Business Foresight. Let me leave you with the funny clip of the week.